Hi, welcome back, and in this video we've got another job lot to unpack. So I've taken the address label off, understandably, but completely unopened. Now I do have a pretty good clue as to what is in here, but I don't know its condition, and I must confess I bought this job lot for one particular camera, and it's one particular camera that does have a known and regular issue with it, so I've got no idea whether it's working or not. The rest of the stuff in here is a range of, I've already got at least two of those in one case, and the rest is kind of like interesting but not great. And I paid £18 for this job lot. Now, if the camera I'm interested in is working, I've got a bit of a bargain here. If it's not, I've blown £18 on potentially some rubbish, so box cutter, and let's get in. Right, first of all, let's see what we have in terms of packing. And in this case, we have lots of annoying foam and styrofoam, so that'll make a nice noise on camera. Oh, there's some plastic in here as well. Right, first up, this will be one of the, there was some accessories in there. We have a mysterious golden black, well, half of a box, and that looks like, well, I've got no idea what that is, being perfectly honest. Maybe it's a focusing aid of some sort, but yeah, it's a mysterious box. If I work out what it is, I will put it up on screen. If you know what it is, it's made in England, and it has, let me just, a funny little, hopefully that will focus in there. It has a little brand mark on there, but looks like it could be for a focusing aid. I honestly don't know. Mystery number one. Right, let's remove some more packing. Scrunchy, sorry for that. And the rest is just dumped in here. So, right, first up we have a Kodak Brownie Flash 2. Now, despite the name, there is no flash on here, but it does have flash sinks on there. You can see that just there. These are actually quite late for a brownie, box brownie. 57 through to about 1960 they were made. This one is in what can only be called extremely ropey condition. Take 620 film. This one, as you can see there, is not going to be usable because the red lens that keeps the back light tight is gone. Despite a remarkably rusty looking exterior, however, let's try changing that over to instant. Yeah, and try changing it over to bulb. The shutter mechanism actually works perfectly well. So apart from being rusty and a bit ropey, the leatherette is peeling away, and the fact that it's unusable because I can stick my finger in the back, other than that, it would actually work. I could, I suppose, put some red tape over there, but I've got better 620 cameras than that one. But it sort of works. It's fixable at the very least. Next up, we have a tripod made in Germany. Billora. It's an ancient Billora tripod there. I mean, it works. You lock it using the top plate. It's got a fold out sections here. It's got a lot of rust on it, and I am actually slightly worried am I up to date on my tetanus shots? I don't know, but I don't think that's going to be used a great deal by me at all. I mean, it's serviceable, but not a great addition. It's not looking good so far, is it? Let's pull out another camera. Right. we have a HN128. Now, these are vaguely interesting little 35mm cameras. They're very basic. They have just simple open and close on there. I would imagine, given the price of these, that I don't know, it does look like it's a glass lens on there. But one of the interesting things about these is, quite oddly, they actually, and hopefully you can see it just there, they allowed you to select the ISO. So for a pocketable 35mm point and shoot, and let me just grab a couple of rechargeables. Sorry to go off camera there for a moment. I really should have pocketed these earlier on. It doesn't want to easily take my rechargeables. Back off camera again, sorry. Let's try some non-rechargeables, which... Apologies, there we go. It does at least accept those. Flash is charging. Now, these are very, very, very simple cameras. You have a shutter, wind on, manual rewind, rewind button on the bottom, and all the battery does is charge the flash. Now, the flash might just be that the capacitor's taking a little while to charge up here, but it is taking... Oh, the flash does indeed work. Now, the interesting thing is, and I've only just noticed this, is the ISO range on the back actually goes from 100 all the way up to 1000 ASA, so that's actually quite unusual. I will edit the coughing out. If there's cuts in this, it's just me coughing. Sorry about that. But it is workable. By the way, I've got no idea who made these. This will just be mass-produced in China, but I have seen a few of them on the market. But it's a reasonable little 35mm point and shoot in terms of its features. I might whack a film through it just to see what the lens is like, because I'm intrigued by the fact that you've got some degree of manual control and how much influence that has off of the back of the film ASA selector. So it'll be interesting to see. But that is one definitely working, and one sort of working, and one potential tetanus risk tripod. Back in the box. Right. A brownie reflex. Now, they're called a reflex, and they look a bit like a twin lens reflex camera, but they're not, because you can't focus through the top lens. It is used purely for viewing and framing. These were 127 film, if my notes are right. And I did check earlier on, and just having a quick look over, 1946 to 1960 these were made between. Now, this one is very stiff in all approaches, but the film does still come out of there. So it's, or rather the film holder does come out of there. It's all a bit stiff and needs a little bit of TLC, but it does appear to fire. You had a whole 2 shutter speeds here, being instantaneous and bulb, and the lever for that is very, very stiff, so I am going to have to give it a little bit of TLC. 127 film, not commonly available now. You can get it and you pay a fortune for it, but it's a nice little curio more than anything else, and I quite like, don't know about you, but I quite like the Art Deco styling of it. So, usable or not, it's quite a pretty little thing in my book. So I'm going to clean that up and stick it on a shelf. So, does appear to be working though. Yay! Right. We now have to put up with, before we get to the bottom, a load of other crap, but ooh! An instamatic. a Kodak Instamatic. What version of Instamatic is this? This is a 104. I don't have a 104 in my collection at the moment, but yeah, that's a 126 Instamatic. You can't get film for them anymore, but I actually quite like the look of them, and this is now my third different Instamatic. So there we go. It's got a little case for it. I'm not going to fully bother checking it's working, because at the end of the day most of these work reasonably well. They're very hard to kill, but you can't get film for them anymore, so they're to a degree not usable. Okay, we have a knockoff Coke holder. We have an Olympus front body cap. No Olympus cameras in here. We have a camera strap. We have a Jessup's filter. It's 49mm skylight apparently, but it's actually just an empty box for a 49mm skylight, so that's not a lot of good. Ooh, we have a pocket blower brush. The smaller cousin to a rocket blower. Easy to carry around with a nice soft lens brush on the front of it. We have a mystery pouch which contains in it a Praktica M42 teleconverter, 2x teleconverter for a Praktica, so that will join my other M42 items. So I didn't know that was in here. That's a bit of a bonus. 2x teleconverters. These were, and I have covered it on a previous unboxing video, these were very common back in the 80s and 90s when I first started photography. You could use them on any lens. They effectively double the focal length of the lens, and you lose about 1.5 stops roughly of light through them because it's got more glass going to go through it. Now, one of the issues is some of them were not great quality, but this does actually appear to be a Praktica one, so I hold out a little bit more hope there that that's actually a reasonable quality one, but one to play around with, particularly as I now have my M42 to Micro Four Thirds lens mount adapter, and I will be doing a video on my adventures with using M42 lenses on a Micro Four Thirds camera or two. Right, we have and I want to show this to you as I read from it. Crystal Vision Japan Focus Optic High Definition Pro Digital Lens. Super High Resolution Tele-Wide Deluxe Digital Lenses is what the box says. That box really does scream 80s. And in it we have a faux leatherette pouch with a 58mm Pro Digital Precision Teleconverter 2x Japan. So these hunks of glass basically screw on the front of a lens, 58mm in this case, and they came in either wide angle flavours or teleconverter flavours. These were very, very common back in the day, and by day I mean my time, in photographic retail in the early 90s. For video cameras more than stills cameras. So you whack these on the front because of course most video cameras back then you didn't have the ability to change the lenses on them, not consumer level ones anyway. So you popped one of these on the front and it either in this case gave you a telephoto effect or in a wide angle one gave you a wider angle. Again, depending on the quality you could lose quite a bit of image quality for these, but the interesting one is this one is actually designed, or they say, for, oh, this is a lot later than I thought it was. My apologies for that. On the side it actually says fits Canon, Nikon, Minolta, Olympus, Pentax, all fine SLR cameras and digital cameras, which dates this a lot later. So an interesting find. I very much doubt it's going to be great quality myself, but I might play around with it at some point. Right, we're into the last few bits. We have a 62mm no brand lens cap. We have another filter box here. This is supposed to be a 52mm skylight. Let's see if we actually get one this time. We do. And it is an Astron 52mm skylight filter. It is absolutely filthy as well, so I'll clean that up, make sure it hasn't got any fungus on it, and add it to the collection or throw it in the bin. Not sure which yet. Last three items. A Vivitar 1800 flash unit. So boxed with instructions. This is a fairly standard flash unit, pre-auto thyristor, and the contacts in it all look to be absolutely fine. Right, one moment. Time to grab some rechargeables. Most Vivitar flash units are quite happy taking rechargeable batteries in them, so I'm just popping these in there and we'll see. It's charging. Sorry, I stopped talking then. That was a bit rude, wasn't it? I do apologise. It's charging. Again, I very much doubt this capacitor, and this flash has been used in a long time, so it's going to take a little while to get up to, but there we go. Whoa! We got a flash out of it. Now, as it's a non-thyristor unit, you have to basically use the scale on the back there, know your distance, your film speed, and calculate what aperture you should be using, because basically it is firing, as you can see there, on full power all the time. Given that, I would imagine the discharge voltage on it is incredibly high, and you probably want to be very wary about using that on any form of modern camera. If anybody is interested, let me know in the comments down below, and I will do a video talking about older flash guns and how to check whether they should or shouldn't be used on modern cameras, and what modern means by modern in that regard, because it's a lot older than you think. Right, oh look, this one's boxed. A panoramic camera. I know exactly what this is going to be. There we go, look at it. It is a bog standard focus free panoramic camera. I think I've got about half a dozen of these now. For anybody who doesn't know, these are 35mm cameras, no flash, designed to take panoramic images. That's actually a lie. All they do is mask off the top and the bottom of a standard 35mm frame, basically meaning that you're using less of the negative. So it's not actually panoramic, it's just using less of a 35mm. But these were incredibly common. Right, last camera. And I must confess I was a bit sneaky. I took it out and put it down the side. And that is a Yashica Electro 35 GS. Now, I don't know if this works or not, and I'll guarantee it doesn't have a battery in it. So give me one moment while I go and grab a battery for it. I'll be back soon. Okay, so I've got a battery in it now. Sorry about the delay there. And the battery check light is indeed working on it. So now, the moment of truth. Shutter is unlocked. Film advance won't wind on. And nothing. Unfortunately, this is what I feared might be the case. You see, Yashica Electro 35 range has a quite common and known problem with them, which is what's called the pad of death. So as part of the shutter mechanism, to help cushion it, there's a rubber pad in the mechanism that's supposed to dampen it. That pad of rubber can deteriorate over time, disintegrate, fall away, etc. And as a result, the shutter mechanism, when it's being wound on, can't actually engage properly, and the shutter will not fire. It is repairable. You have to take them apart, and it's a bit of a tricky one to do. So this is not workable in its current form at the moment, which is a shame, but it might be something that I can get up and running. The good thing is the basic electronics in it appear to be absolutely fine, which is good news, because that you want. But this is a salient little warning to everyone that you basically need to take care when you are buying job lots or used cameras, unless they actually state that they have been film tested and you've seen the film results yourself. Because if you're buying untested job lots, as I did here, knowing full well there is a chance that you are going to end up with a bunch of non-functional cameras, or cameras which you can't get film for, it's hard to get film for, and that's the case in this job lot. So I've done quite a few of these. This is the only one really where the target camera or the main camera in it is not working, so it's not a bad strike rate. But I went into this, as I do with all of my job lots, with expectations of zero. So I'm quite happy to have spent the £18 and got some curios, and to a degree the Kodak reflex is quite pretty. It's not 18 quid pretty, but there we go. So that's this job lot. Not as successful as the past ones, but thank you for watching if you have watched to the end. And yeah, if you've liked this video, please hit the like button. And if you want to see more content like this, please do subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to be notified when new content gets uploaded. Thanks very much, everyone. Take care. Bye.